So now we're recording and we got the consent of everyone. It is 7:23 Central Time. Y'all can translate that into whatever you want.
Bedtime. Yes. Okay.
Right. Whatever time zone you are currently in. But the meeting is being called to order on October 12th, 2022, 7:23 p.m. Central Time. Please be aware that there is a meeting recording in our agenda. It is also on the site. Okay, so from what I understand, after the Vanguard report, which is what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to relinquish control of the meeting in its entirety to Lori Hayes.
Okay.
For the Vanguard report, prior to the start of the recording, we had gotten chatting. It's my understanding that we don't need a Q&A about the videos that were sent in the bus files, that everyone present felt comfortable with the way that they were presented. And everyone is aware that if there is a question that you have, I'd be happy to create a Loom. So would Apple at any given time. Neaton is working on some for inventory. I have specifically asked Neaton not to go into too great a detail because our makers change and we grow, but to give us a general overview so that everyone understands, what do I mean when I say we update inventory every week? What's some basic stuff? So Neaton is going to work with me on creating those. I don't know who's going to be the actual voice, but we're working on them, and I'll get them into the bus files and let all of the board of advisors and operation team know. To be fair, I have gotten an acknowledgement from everyone on operations except our brand new bookkeeper, which I'll get into for a second. Something came up just like yesterday, so I'm going to have to add it to the agenda for everybody. But all of operations, Lori and Alice have confirmed they've watched the bus files. I have not heard from anyone else on our board of advisor team at all about watching them in any way, shape, or form, which may speak to something later on down the line. But I'm just saying I would like to hear from the remainder of the board of advisors immediately. We're past due, so please let me know. The second thing that I need to let everyone know is Daisy's responsibilities with her full-time day job, respecting confidentiality, no last names, no indication of what that job is, but they have grown. We are super proud of her. She has absolutely turned our bookkeeping practices around. I went in yesterday because I go in periodically to audit. And I took Lori with me, and I can state for both of us on this recording, Daisy is going to hear it. Wow.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Oh, so much, yes. Right?
I totally agree. Yes.
Now, Daisy did offer an apology to the board of advisors, but I'm going to honestly not convey it because she's like, I'm past due. I'm like, no, you weren't. It was hours, not even days. It's irrelevant. She's rocked it. We will have double billing on Upwork for this week because the new bookkeeper, which I will introduce next month at our board of advisors, because, we always have this probationary month. So I'm not going to spend too much time for everybody on that right now, but hopefully recommended by Daisy, being trained by Daisy. Ugh, God bless her. Yeah. So I really feel comfortable. I didn't even interview anyone else because Daisy brought this person as her replacement. And I just don't think anything could be better than that. Last thing for the Vanguard report, starting right now, I expect everyone to start promoting the giving season. We have a discount code. It's giving season, capital G only, 22. Giving season 22. It's 5% off on any order in World Community Exchange's store. So it's giving season 22. I need everyone to, if you're a TikToker, put it on your video. If you're a Facebooker, put it on your page. If you're LinkedIn, do that too. Tell everybody that'll listen. We're at that moment now. I told everybody a year ago, I would say when. I'm saying when. It's time. I feel very comfortable, and even more so because I've, over the last few weeks, have been desperately seeking Lori's approval in audits, and running through systems and stuff. And we all know her Cappy self is wonderfully pain in my butt. And so I
That's
am
what she does
feeling-
so well.
right. And so I'm
She
I'm
does so
feeling
well.
comfortable, but I'm really feeling comfortable now. If there is a mistake here or there, we're auditing all the time. We'll fix it. We'll do some customer service, but it's time to go. It's time to promote this. I want to see some serious growth. I'm not going to launch it as strategic planning, but you guys all saw that strategic planning goals that I have for 2023. They're aggressive. They're aggressive, and they should be. So from my reports point of view, everyone in social media promoting, everyone looking for investors. We have brought on an additional shareholder in the last month. We need to see more. We are now interviewing for the open positions for the Board of Advisors. I will be doing a call out personally to each one of the ones that are up for re-election to see if they're intending to, stay and run again. But at least we have at least 2 open seats right now. I would like all 9 filled. So we also have some marketing going out. Everybody bring at least 1 person. There's no reason why, as Board of Advisors, we can't bring at least 1 person that we would recommend. I am going to step back because I recommended literally every single person on the current board. So we'd like to hear from somebody other than me. Carmen has already submitted, and the board can review that. The way the process
Our
is going-
Carmen?
No.
Our Car-
I would
Oh,
love
we
it
were-
if our Carmen did, but the one that did the presentation last week.
From
Oh, gotcha.
benefits to
Okay.
go.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I'm
Thank you.
feeling comfortable saying it on the recording, is because she was the recording for last month.
Cool.
But no, our Carmen would be great too.
I know, wouldn't you?
So how this process is going to work, because I know Alice asked, Christy had mentioned it before she had to take her sabbatical. The way that this is going to work is, no, it's true. The Board of Advisors can't elect other Board of Advisors. The shareholders elect Board of Advisors. But as a shareholder, I would like to hear from the Board of Advisors, even if you're not going to renew or what do you call it?
Yep.
Vote for yourself. But I respect this group. So all of the CVs and resumes are going to be made available so that the Board of Advisors can make some recommendations. Obviously, they're not binding, but I don't feel comfortable going without them. As we know, I think from last year, November, December, we're going to collect all that stuff. The shareholder meeting will elect folks. Then the Board of Advisors meeting, which is on the same day as the shareholders meeting, will then decide who is on what committees and who's doing what for the year. It's not a full layout like hour by hour, but it's certainly a title
Okay.
decision. So as we know, our Board of Advisors, what normally folks would call executive team, we call our guides. And so then the Board of Advisors will appoint the guides into their correct position. At next month's November's meeting, we will remind everyone who is up for re-election. And like I said, either I or Lori will be calling them too. Okay. That's it for me for the Vanguard report.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
The next thing on the agenda, because Lori asked me to have it up, is the awareness team report. Did you want me to do that?
Yes, please.
Because honestly, I'm going to be totally honest. When there's written reports, I see no reason to read them out loud to a group of adults. There's a link in the awareness team report. Thank you, Lori, for putting it there. I'm going to say again and again and again and again and again and again and again, if you are not forwarding, commenting, liking, loving at least one WCE thing a week, we're not fulfilling our responsibilities.
Yep.
Our algorithms, folks, the more we can promote it, the better. The more different areas we go, the better.
Yep. And we just had a meeting that was talking about exactly how important those are, those connections and those bringing people to the site. And And us as individuals, we talk about that 6 degrees of separation. So think about where we all live and where we all work and our lives. We're in a completely different bubble from each other. So let's see if we can't get that 6th degree of connection, because we have such a vast, amazing opportunity.
So now we have the client relations team report. Normally there's not a heck of a lot there because a lot of it's financial and we consider that confidential, but I can tell you that in a non-confidential capacity, we have mastered our client communications. It is amazing. Kudos, Apple, holy Moses. She has found an app that she is particularly good at. She processed a fake order in my name using my personal email so I could see it all, which I kept forwarding to Lori. Alice, if you want to see it, I'd love to show it to you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
We have, between her and I optimized Shopify. So Shopify now is showing product recommendations every Wednesday. We're going to do the discount code interspersed in there as well. Every Wednesday I go in and do that. Shopify, also, I'm improving where our clients have their emails in so that we can tell them about sales and things that are going on. I've given my word that we're not going to inundate them with an everyday thing, but we are sending it out once a week. And if there's something major, like if there's a flash sale, which we are going to start seeing in 2023 flash sales, where there's literally a sale today that's going to end in 24 hours, 20% off. Go. So there's going to be things like that in 2023. I had a really great time optimizing all of that. Apple had a great time using Klaviyo. So we have you left your shopping cart full all the way through to we think it's been delivered. We watch tracking because Apple watches the tracking. Well, I shouldn't say that. You guys saw it in the bus video and all of that. So we've got communication all the way through. The next step for the client relationship team is that I am going to get a review form, nice, simple stars, and then Apple can put that in the it's been delivered email so that we can get some feedback.
I have a question.
Okie dokie.
Are we absorbing the sale discount?
Yes.
Or are the makers? Okay.
Never.
Okay, that's what I just want to clear up. I just want to make sure.
To be fair, that's why we started with a 5% for the giving season 22, because we are not in a position to be offering more than that. We absorb, and for the viewers, that are going to watch the video, we absorb all of the shipping, all of the handling, all of the taxes, all of that.
Right.
And so, and we don't, because our shareholders are pretty awesome and conservative, we don't demand a whole lot of sheer profit. We do have profit to reinvest in the company. And we do have profit for growth, which we need to have. And we do have profit for someday, like, I work full time and it would be nice to get paid at some point. Our investors would like to get paid at some point. We need to start paying some of the loans from our founders back. But above and beyond that, the just sheer unadulterated profit, we don't have a lot of margin there. But it is important to give discounts and it is important to reward our clients. So we're trying to find a happy medium. I played a conservative and picked 5% because I've never done a discount code before. So I'm learning. But when we get further, and the more sales we generate, the more we can afford to give back. But the one thing about WCE is nothing ever comes out of the maker, period.
Okay. Gotcha.
None of our advertising, overhead, nothing.
Which is how I advertised it when I was getting makers last year. That is exactly what I said. I said, if you want 25 for this, 25 is what you'll get. And they all looked at me and said, you can't make a profit that way. And I said, that's our problem, not yours.
Lori and I were at a maker's market live, on the Square One in Baraboo. And I got into a pretty serious conversation with a woman, not because she didn't think we could do it, but because she flat out didn't believe us. We know our competitor, who shall remain nameless, nickels and dimes them. You know, you got to pay to put it up, pay to start your store.
Mhm.
She said, well, I'm just not tech enough. I only sell, and this is really fun because she's completely new. She only sells in-person makers markets because she doesn't know how to do tech. I said, can you take a
Oh.
picture of this beautiful thing? And the thing is, it's really cool. She repurposes teapots and a teacup, and she puts them on spikes. So in the front yard, it's pouring into, it's pretty cool. But she said, well, yeah, I can take a picture. I take pictures of my grandkids, I said, well, then take your picture of your stuff, email it to me, and we take it from there. I'll help you write the copy. I'll help you do all of this stuff. And we absorb all of that. That's kind of the point.
Mhm. Okay. And that's how I talked it up too. So I just want to make sure.
Okay, communication and collaboration team, that has fallen on me as well. Bus files are our latest thing that we've been working on. And I'm using the royal we there. Every time I've said we on the last 3 reports, I'm just doing this stuff, to be honest. So we're in process. Part of our strategic planning for next year is going to be to finish our corporate values. We have mission, we have vision, we have culture. We're getting bus files in there. I have no intention. Yeah, this is true. I have no intention of writing up formal job descriptions and hierarchical stuff that none of us have any intention of using. We're a pretty flat teamwork company, and the Loom videos, in my mind, the bus files, provide us with more of an like if you watch them, you can pick any one out of that list and it'll refer to a different one. That's how we work. So what I am doing instead, and this is where I've gotten help, Neaton and I are working on this project. It will be done by the end of first quarter 2023, is we made up, and Lori's going to giggle at me because no matter how many times I write organizations, there's circles and then they end up looking like flowers. Everything I sketch ends up looking like little daisies, and it's terrible, but these did too. So he and I made this sort of interlocking series of those. So here is the leadership team, here is the board of advisors, and then all of the committees. And those committees have these people under operations in circles and circles and circles. It's going to take a hot minute. I drew them all up and got them to them, but it's my handwriting, and we're trying to make it work just right and be pretty because we'd like to put this on our transparency page. So we'll keep working on that. Anybody has any questions, suggestions? Every time we put a bus file in, we'll let all of the board of advisors and operations team know. When Neaton and I get to a point where we have some pretties, we'll send it to you guys to make sure it's making sense before we invest more into finishing this. But one of the things that folks are really, really excited about is how our corporate culture works. We are trying to change everything about retail. If you think about how many of us in high school worked at the mall for $1.95, walked through dangerous parking lots, right? Got sick of listening to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right?
Never.
So,
Never.
oh,
Well, weren't you a prima donna?
yeah. She was born with a good job. The rest of us.
Sounds like
Oh,
it,
no,
Lori. Not
no.
to say anything.
I was a waitress. That is the best foundation I could ever suggest for anyone who goes into healthcare because
yeah.
it teaches
yeah.
you so much.
It does.
And I love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, so I never get sick of that. And Frosty. And a little Jingle Bells.
I'm going to ask her again on December 26th, and we'll see where she's at.
See, I'm a fan.
Okay, go ahead.
Katarina sings it.
Yes.
All right. The next is the maker relationship team. Again, I feel like a broken record, but that's me again. So on the maker relationship team, Lori has been assigned an audit. She knows the deadline, so I'm not going to harpy on it. Phil is done. I did provide you with the additional information.
I saw that, but I'm going to have some questions on that because...
Yes, ma'am. Operational meeting, I will catch you right up. But the long and the short of it is we have been reaching out. I've been going on certain sites where we'd like people to come away from. YouTube. I am officially done with everything the board of advisors gave me in Slack. Every one of those YouTube videos, every one of those links to stores, every one of those that you gave me, I have reached out to. We've started a conversation in some way or shape or form. Now it's just a matter of time and keep going. I need more.
And
Give
this
me
week,
more.
I will scan all of the cards in. So I will be getting those to you guys by no later than Monday.
One of
Okay.
the things we are going to have to buy, and it's just going to be mandatory, is a email app. Because part of what's killing me is if I have 150 folks I'm trying to reach out to say basically the same thing, and then down to 50 and 10, and I am having to cut, paste, send into my email one at a time. And
Yeah, that's a
I
pain
have
in
a
the ass.
problem with that because not only is it taking up my time, but I think it's kind of scary on their end because it's coming from me. It's not like pretty branded World Community Exchange link back to the site. It's just
Have we
some,
looked at Constant Contact?
no, I don't know that one, Alice.
Oh, that's a
Oh my
good-
God, then
that's
let me
good.
send it to you because that's
Yeah.
exactly what they do. I
Okay.
had no clue. I apologize. If I'd have known this sooner, I'd have sent it to you. But Constant Contact works that way. You get all of your information together and you keep adding to your list, and it's automatically set up to go out whenever you decide it's going to do that.
Can
And
you set
you
up
just,
different lists for different groups? Like,
yes, you can.
oh, yes,
Yeah,
please send
but I
that.
have no idea how much it is. That I can't tell you. But I do know they sent me an email again. I'll have to look for it because it was a couple months ago.
I've
But
not
I
even
don't
heard
throw
of it.
anything away.
I
Okay.
saw an ad for them and I never processed how we could use them, but it sounds like the coolest
No,
thing.
that's exactly what Rosie's saying. Everything she's saying right now is what they do. Now, the other thing you can do, let me rephrase that. The other thing you can use them for when we get bigger is you can actually use them for a whole marketing message, not just like
Well,
an
that's what
email.
I'm using
It'll be
Shopify, so I'd love to see this.
all right.
Please.
I will get that together and send it to you. And I will
Because if it's
email. I'll
easier, I'll
CC
just,
you too, Lori.
Thank
I'll
you.
CC you too.
because I could take the list out of Shopify, put it in, what did you say?
Yes, you
Constant-
can. You can import, you can export, you can mail merge, you can, what's the other thing they do that is so cool?
And Rosie,
There's
it's
one other-
constant contact.
Constant Contact is what it's called.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
That is going to be a game changer for me because I do all the press releases one at a time.
Yeah,
to
no,
every
you don't
radio
have to work
station.
at it that hard.
Because in Google, if I put, I don't want to give each other each other's emails, and if I put them all,
No,
in
you
Google,
don't.
then
And
Google
if
blocks it.
Yeah, and then the other problem is you used to be able to put them all blind CC and put yourself as the main one, and then they started not playing nice with that either. So I get that. Besides, if I get an email and it's addressed to myself, it doesn't look good.
Right?
So
Okay,
yeah,
so
Constant Contact.
I will put that on my to-do. Special projects. Jessica's not here to do the podcast report, and I have no information on that. Radio news, I took it back because we've been waiting since a year ago last September, and I can't wait anymore. I went through the spreadsheet. Most of the links were wrong, so I deleted them and started over. I have been doing it one at a time, so Alice may be saving my butt on that.
Yeah, send me what you need done. I can work that in. I can work that in. I know I can.
No, I mean
That's-
the constant contact.
Oh, yeah, and that'll work for that too. There's so many ways you can employ it. The only thing I do not have is I couldn't even give you an estimate as to what it costs.
Well, we'll take
But
a
I
look.
know that it's specifically developed for small business, not for big conglomerates.
Right.
So I'm
Yep.
thinking it's not as much as, to make it prohibitive. Is that a good? But I will do some digging on this.
Oh, Rosie, from what I'm seeing on their website, I think this is very likely affordable for us.
Oh,
You and
good.
me, we have our operations
That makes
meeting
me feel
tomorrow.
better.
Can you show me?
Yep.
Okay. All right, opportunities for investment, time and financial. I'm going to be brutally honest right now, and the 3 people that are in the room already give of their time and money. And so I'm going to skip that for right now. For the recording, we are still taking investors. I said that earlier in the meeting. You contact Rosie at worldcommunityexchange.com to request information on what your investment would go to, what is their minimums, all that kind of good stuff. We do not offer levels. Everybody's in. Once you are a shareholder, you get a vote. We don't do this blind stuff or invisible or,
Right.
So that's all I have to say about that. What else do we have? Old business is none.
None.
New business, Board of Advisors meeting day of the week. I am totally fine with Wednesday. I feel that due to the fact that we don't have people here today, to be fair, I guess we should send out an email and take care of it that way. I'm going to ask Lori to do that.
Yep.
Right now, I believe Christy was fine with Wednesday. I'm fine with Wednesday. Alice, I thought you were, as long as we were this time.
I'm good as long as this time stays. Yes, no problem.
Chris Dial, I don't know. I have to be totally
Her
honest.
sorority, is that the one with the sorority?
Yes, she
that
has
we-
a sorority meeting, but I didn't know it was every week. I'm hearing a rumor it may be. I've had no communication, so I'm going to assume that since we're not having it on Thursday, that will work for her too. So it looks like we're getting to be a majority. I am going to make this suggestion. I am going to say that November and December is on Wednesday, period. We're deciding that right now. We will then do an email out to the newly elected Board of Advisors in January. I think that should be what we do every year. I don't think it matters what day of the week we have our meeting on, as long as we all can get there.
Right.
Yes.
So I think January is a great time. We'll just leave it on Wednesday because Christy already did the invitation. That's what I'm proposing. We don't need a vote as long as we all are agreeing.
I agree.
Yes,
And I think
I agree.
that's something that we put on the first meeting after every election is
The
date and
day.
time.
Yep.
Yep.
And as always, when somebody, if something came up, we can always talk about switching the day as long as we're all communicating. That's never been a problem before.
No,
So I'm just saying, why send out an email and trying to figure it out for 2 more meetings?
no. But that
All
does
right.
bring us to our shareholders meeting, because in May of last year, we had a conversation at at our Board of Advisors meeting about switching to May in order to allow us time to close out the end of the year, get reports out, and go out to shareholders. And I
Yeah,
am,
we did.
but it still says on our, and that part falls on me because we were supposed to do an electronic vote and it never happened. That's when Christy and I were switching position, and it just fell through the cracks. I didn't realize that I forgot that it was supposed to be an electronic vote. At the meeting, we talked about moving it to May and the second Thursday, but that's also when our meetings were going to be on Thursday. And so I guess
I am going to ask that we do not entertain that. It is fourth quarter now.
right.
It was a great conversation. I think we can have it again after the elections.
That's what I was going to suggest. Yep.
Yep.
But we just leave it with the January
Agreed.
meeting. Now that is a Thursday. The 17th is a Thursday.
It's the
I
best
think.
we have to go by our current bylaws and articles, and so that's what it is. And I am sorry, but I would expect that all of us, other than a dire health emergency, for a once a year shareholder meeting should probably, because we have to remember that the Board of Advisor meeting isn't the same, right?
Nope. But it's a Tuesday. I'm sorry. Because our bylaws at that point said Tuesdays. And
For
so
the
that is a
shareholders,
Tuesday.
yeah.
For the shareholders meeting, yes. The shareholders meeting in January is a Tuesday.
And I don't care what day it is. I think we all should be able to make it.
I
And
agree.
we'll talk a little bit more about this. I'd like to kind of curb that until we go into our closed session, just because there's some financial considerations that I'd like to bring up. but we don't do finances on the recording.
Yep.
So
Correct.
I'm going to also suggest that due to the fact that we have a pretty substantial closed session for this evening,
Mhm.
that we skip the book study. I also feel like the three of us have beat the energy bus to death. We all three absolutely adored it.
Oh,
And
yes.
the folks that I would like to hear from aren't present.
Okay.
So I am going to ask anyone if there's any more new business that
I-
needs to be brought up.
I have a question. With that, do we leave the energy bus on then for November?
We'll
or
talk
do-
about that for the next agenda.
Okay.
For now, I'm just saying we're skipping it for now.
So then it'll appear on the November agenda.
We'll see.
Okay.
But is there any new business? Business, not book club.
I have
business.
nothing. I have nothing.
Okay. Alice, do you have an announcement that I thought you wanted to make?
Oh, yes, I do.
I
I
keep going.
have. I am so sorry. I'm
That's
like,
okay.
oh yeah, blah blah. Okay.
If
No,
you were here, I'd
in
have been elbowing you. I'm like,
I know. In all
That's okay.
seriousness, okay, I want to be very clear about this. I have reviewed everything that Daisy did in the
nope, not that.
oh, uh-oh.
Not
What was
that.
the other
That's
one?
for a closed session. That's money.
Okay, sorry.
Don't we have a
right.
new shareholder?
Give me another hint. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I would like to announce to everyone that I am now the proud owner of 3 shares of World Community Exchange.
We're so glad you're here. That's why I was,
Yes.
And
I was
along
trying
with
not to
my
let it
Green Bay
slip.
Packers, right to go to Lambeau Field,
Right?
I am just chugging right along. You guys are going to get me to Wisconsin yet. I just have this feeling.
Doors open.
But
Stay
I'm
open.
really, really happy about it. In fact, that was one of the things. It's been pretty oral because I have not been on social media lately for personal reasons. That'll change shortly. I haven't gotten that done, but I have talked to some friends of mine who are also heavily invested in other things. And you know what was really funny was their reaction when I told them what it was for. And they were like, we never thought of that. That's not something that had crossed our minds. And I said, I'll be more than happy to give you the information. So I have some interest. I haven't had any commitments yet, but they're talking about it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Part of public
And I'm kind of
knowledge.
happy about it.
Part of public knowledge is that we do have 40% available.
Right.
40%
Okay. And that's
left.
what I said. Okay.
Yep.
I'm good. I'm good.
So anybody out there in TV land.
I do have one question. There was one thing that came up about that. And this, I don't think is closed meeting. It's really just about being a shareholder.
Okay.
Are they only sold in blocks of 3?
We actually have of 3 is the minimum. Yes.
That's okay. Thank you. But you can do more.
But you can do as much as upwards of, it'd be $100,000 more or less for 40% of the company. If somebody wanted to write us $100,000 check, we'd give them 40% of the company. We've been saying
Gotcha.
that in every pitch meeting all the way along.
Okay,
We
I'm good.
did
That
hold-
I understand.
And we held a handful of shares for our friends, our family, our connections, for any of
Mhm.
our board of advisors for this year. That being held would end at the end of your term for you, but you have the right because that's a little bit of a discount, and we
Mhm.
don't disclose what that is, but for transparency purposes, we did hold back a handful for all of our friends and family and professional colleagues, whatever our connections for any board of advisors, as a thank you to our board of advisors, because it is a volunteer position. And we would do the same in 2023 for anybody newly elected. So that's yet another reason why you might want to be on the board of advisors.
Okay, got you. So as long as you're on the board, they're still there.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And when they're gone, and that's when we're going to stop offering that handful. But the ones for the public, the 40% of the company, people can come in and buy a share. 3 is the minimum for now.
Mhm.
or they could write a check for $100,000 and walk away with 40% of the company. And
Gotcha.
everyone from 1 share to 40% of shares has the same equal 1 vote per share invited to the open board meeting, shareholders meeting, input. You know how I am. Transparency.
Mhm. No, I get it.
All are welcome. Many voices, many ears. And
Gotcha.
so the other question that I have gotten recently is do you have to identify as female to be a shareholder? Absolutely not. We
Okay.
do have to maintain a identify as female majority to continue to call ourselves women owned and operated. We
Right.
have that
That I
already.
understood. Yeah.
And that we have
Okay.
already. We have that in this room already.
Right.
So from here on out, come all, come any.
Gotcha. I'm good. I'm very happy about it.
We're very
And I'll
happy
hang
you're
around
here
as
too.
long as you let me hang around. So it's all good.
Well, then pitch the vote.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, okay, it's time to do that.
All right. So if anybody watching the video has any questions or concerns, you can reach Alice, Lori, Rosie simply by typing in her name at worldcommunityexchange.com. So you can type, Alice at, Lori at, Rosie at worldcommunityexchange.com. We have a brand new phone number, which is fun. Let me see if I can do this. 608-501-2779. Did I get it
Very
right?
good.
Yes, and it's
Yes, you
all
did.
over my right shoulder. No.
Yeah, it isn't for
We
me.
can
'cause
only
all your
see
heads are full.
2779.
Yeah,
You can only see 2779 though.
Ah,
that's
okay.
right. So everybody's welcome. Bring makers, bring investors, and shop. Shop, shop, shop. It's the giving season. Shop ethically. Shop World Community Exchange. So I'm going to call the open part of this meeting closed at exactly and precisely 8 o'clock Central Time,
Yay.
October 12th, 2022. See y'all next month.
Thank you.
See ya.
Okay, it doesn't want to let me
It's
there
still
we go.
recording.
Got it.